Welcome back to Reshape Your Life. I'm Jason Atkinson, certified health coach, nutritionist, and personal trainer. I just finished up a party at my daughter's pre-K class for Easter. And of course, there was a lot of junk food on hand because that's what we do in this country. We celebrate events with food. Usually, the worst types of food are the party foods or celebration foods. And something that was said by one of the parents in attendance there sort of caught my attention. She said that she just finished doing a fasting challenge with her church where they fasted as a group. And she said that they only had to give up one thing. And so the one thing that she gave up was meat. And the reason she did that is because that's what everyone else was doing. So that's a good, strong statement there. I want to unpack that just a little bit. I didn't say anything, but I hate to be the one to tell her or anyone else that thinks that that's a great approach. Removing meat from your diet is probably not going to improve your health. Properly raised ruminant meat is actually one of the most nutrient-dense foods that exist. And in a weight loss or in an overall health protocol, what we're looking for is nutrient density versus energy density. All those party foods, the things at the party, the cupcakes, the cookies, the candy, and all of that, those are very high energy density with very low nutrient density. So and chips, those types of foods are easy to overeat. And that's really the problem. It's not that we eat too much. We eat too much of the wrong kind of things that don't satisfy our nutritional needs, so they leave us hungry. And being high in energy, they're easy to store as energy. So what I'm thinking is, if I had to recommend one thing to remain in your diet, and that was the only thing you were going to eat, that would be meat. That's known as the carnivore diet. Now, I don't follow the carnivore diet, but that principle is easy to understand and apply. If I personally had to eliminate one thing to get the most improvement, that one thing would be sugar. If I had an opportunity to remove two things, that would be sugar and grains, specifically processed grains, but grains across the board are actually not so great for our health to begin with. And let me back up just a little bit. Sugar, I say sugar, I'm talking about not just the white granules, not just table sugar, but anything that contains sugar or sugars. So examples would be even natural foods like honey, for example, that's high in sugar. Syrup is high in sugar. Any type of candy or cake, obviously sweets, anything sweet is going to be high in sugar. But you would have to say anything that can convert into sugar would also be a great starting point if you have a damaged metabolism. Now, if you're metabolically healthy, you can tolerate more of these type of things and it's not problematic for you. But if you're trying to get things under wraps, that's a great place to start. The next category was grains, and I said really any type of grains, but specifically processed grains. Grains, the category of grains, for some reason, a lot of people are not clear on what that is or what I'm talking about. Grains are wheat, corn, oats, rice. Those are the main ones that we consume in the highest amounts. There are others, things like rye and so on and so forth. Those are not grains that we consume in mass quantities. Wheat is probably the number one. And a lot of people are surprised to find out that corn is a grain. We're kind of taught to think that that's a vegetable, but it's actually a grain. It's just a modified head, grass head, basically seed head. That's all grains are. They're just the seeds of the plant. And oats is one that a lot of people have a problem with when I suggest that you would reduce or eliminate oats or oatmeal, because we've all heard over and over how wonderful oatmeal is. Oatmeal is not particularly great for our health. It's not a source of tons of nutrients, despite what the propaganda might promote. A lot of the processed grain products have had vitamins added to them, that's because they don't really contain any nutrients that we need. And the fiber that's in grains, that's what's been used to recommend them as their fiber content. That's easy to get through vegetables. So there's really no reason at all to consume grains for health benefits. They're mostly just a source of cheap calories that just converts into sugar. And most people are already consuming too much sugar to begin with. Not to mention, grains also have some irritants, some anti-nutrients. They pull minerals out of our body and block the absorption of things that we do need. So not a superfood by any stretch. And then if I had to eliminate three things, that would be sugar, flour or grains, and industrial seed oils. Now that's a big term. What is that? An industrial seed oil, examples are soybean oil, corn oil, canola oil. These are found in products like margarine, for example. Salad dressings and other condiments are notorious for containing soybean oil. It's used in every type of processed food, everything from cereal to granola bars to peanut butter. Unless it specifically says that it doesn't contain these oils, it most likely does. So read your labels and you'll find that these industrial seed oils are in everything. Now what makes them problematic? They're very high in omega-6 fatty acids. Those are the ones that promote a lot of inflammation. The fats that we consume are incorporated into the cell membrane, and omega-6 fats produce a very poor quality cell that doesn't really absorb nutrients or produce energy the way that it should. And these can also contribute to problems with cardiovascular health, or be a risk factor for heart disease or other conditions in that category, despite the fact that they're promoted as being super heart healthy. Industrial seed oils are something that does not exist in nature. So 100 years ago, 120 years ago, there was no processed sugar. There was no refined grains or flour. There was no industrial seed oils being consumed. These things are all modern inventions, and the more we have produced and consumed these products, the worse and worse our health has gotten. So all of this is in stark contrast to the dietary guidelines in this country, which state grains are to be prioritized. Fat and oil is used sparingly. That part they did get right. So if you look at the food pyramid, or the My Plate, grains are the main category, followed by fruits and vegetables, which I don't know how we can categorize fruits and vegetables together, because that's two different things. And fruit tends to be mostly higher in sugar. There are some examples. The tropical fruits are really high in sugar. Even though it is a natural form of sugar, you have to be careful not to overdo it. And so even fruit can be problematic for some people. So I would begin by eliminating the worst items, the flour and the grains, and instead prioritizing the most nutrient-dense food, like meat and eggs, for example, which, just coincidentally, I'm sure, those are the same foods that our dietary guidelines are saying that we should limit or avoid for health reasons, while prioritizing these grains. So don't believe the hype. The dietary guidelines for Americans, or the My Plate, which it has morphed into, those were made for financial reasons, not for health reasons. On their website, on their own website, the USDA states that the dietary guidelines for Americans have never been tested for health outcomes. You would think, coming from a reputable organization that's supposedly there to serve the public and has everyone's best interest in mind, that we would have done some scientific studies to determine that this is the healthiest way to eat, and this is what's going to contribute to low level of heart disease, cancer, and other health risks. And that's simply not the case. That has never been studied or demonstrated. It's actually the opposite. I noticed that the more I reduced grains in my diet, the better my health got and the more my body composition improved. Lower levels of body fat and higher amounts of muscle by limiting or reducing the amount of grains that I was consuming, and instead prioritizing meat and eggs, be it red meat, lean, cuts of properly raised ruminant animal, red meat. I'm not talking about 80-20 ground chuck or Burger King or what have you. There are different distinctions, but that has helped me to improve. So the slogan that I use to encapsulate that concept is eat meat, not wheat. So wheat is a category in my mind of grains that includes all the ones that I mentioned, and meat is a category of basically protein foods. So if I had to say it more simplistically, eat more protein and nutrients and less high energy processed refined garbage, or carbohydrates as I have dubbed them, and you will do better in the long run. You'll have a better body composition, better health, and you keep taking steps forward. Remember, you don't have to eliminate anything 100%. This is not an all or nothing absolute perfection. The way my diet strategy is constructed, it's very clean for about 5 or 6 days a week, and then the other 1 or 2 days a week there's some leeway there to do a refeed or a cheat day, or junk meal, or however you want to term that. If you're interested in getting more information on a program, you can sign up at reshapehealthandfitness.com. I've got a 90-day weight loss challenge kicking off here in a couple of weeks. You can be a part of that and get a workout program, a nutrition plan, some coaching, some group interaction through the challenges that we do. It's a great opportunity. Just jump aboard. If you've been thinking about doing something and you needed a reason to do it, carve out the next 90 days to get in your absolute best shape possible right here at Reshape. So keep it locked into the channel. I'll be back with more videos soon. Thanks.